Welcome into Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler. We're continuing today our run playing as the Union. This is our third run as the Union in 3 different updates here in Grand Tactician Civil War. And with this one, we have a battle where I'm basically defending. This is the Battle of Wheeling, the first Battle of Wheeling. I do have that victory point there, and at this point I'm trying to figure out how I want to actually play it. The South can actually come in from one of 2 roads that would make sense, and I didn't really see a great defensive position at the actual victory point, so I'm going to try and get my units into this forest here that's on top of a hill. So I can maybe put my cannons in the forest. It's a light forest. There on the hill and try and have a defensive position there so that whatever road they come down, I can swing my forces around and get that defended pretty well because they've got a long way to go, and you can see they're kind of outlining the 2 paths that they could take. They're fast. Spoiler alert for the rest of this battle. They're fast. And there's a bit of confusion that will wind up happening eventually here, but it's not too bad, hopefully. But we do take the position technically as we walk through there, so that's good, and this turns it into a defensive battle. But you can see they're already here, which I'm not really sure how they got already there. They must have had a very, very large position, but now they're coming from the other way. So they're actually able to come from both directions, which confused me quite a lot. However, it's mostly the cavalry that's coming from the south, at least at the moment, and we're able to break those small cavalry units. They haven't had a chance to up the cavalry to 2,500 or anything like that yet. So we're able to break those small cavalry units pretty quickly and kind of try to reorganize at some point pretty quickly, but it winds up just being a scrum in this forest here north of the victory point, which, is a thing, I guess. But at this point I'm just trying to save units from being flanked while trying to maybe flank some other units and just trying to keep things where I can make things happen and do things. But we are with the ability to flank. Oh, I didn't want to do that order. With the ability to flank so many of these units, you're kind of one-on-one, as they're also haphazard and disorganized. We were able to flank those units and break them pretty quickly with all of these different positions and different places. So that worked out well for us in the end, and you can see that they're now forming up a line to the northern part of me. Again, they've gotten into that forest, so not the best, but we do still hold the small hill. So we have the high ground there, and we're just trying to get here. We're going to have that unit fall back, which actually worked, which is unusual. We're going to have that unit fall back into a line and just kind of have a line here, and this is a beautiful concave line, which creates a flanking maneuver, and with that you can see that they are beginning to retreat. I noticed there that the cannons have been given up. That little L means that they're not lumbered or something like that, so I am sending out my units to go and grab those cannons right now, but otherwise I'm not going to be giving chase. So we're just going to grab those 2 cannons. The cannons will start firing on the enemy. I considered too late going after the 1 cannon that you see there that still has their guns, that's managing to retreat, but I'm unable to get them in the amount of time we have left. You can see only 7 minutes down there, but this is a better victory. But again, it happens very, very quickly, so you can see that the numbers, I think it's 800 and 1700 or so.
All right, victory at Wheeling. The Army of the Potomac is fleeing in panic. I think that's again 1662 of them killed, 825. When I do it myself, I'm so much better. All right, now they're catching up. They probably won't surpass me. I do think I'm going to go ahead and go Industrialization 1. Going to need to be doing some industrialization projects at some point here. And we could get the legacy rifles. I think I'm going to do that. That will get me just, again, some more options. Right, the Mississippi rifle, 500 yards, which is actually more than the Springfield rifle. Just fewer rate of fire. Let's go ahead and get 3,000 of those ordered up. Should be good. It's only July 7th. Which is quite the thing. Ah, the Army of New York is ready to go. Let's get them started at Grafton. And that will take West Virginia, and that'll be huge. Have we successfully taken Nashville? Pretty sure we have, and we have. So now, with that taken, we need to go beat up the Army of Tennessee, and if we can beat up the Army of Tennessee and force them to retreat, they should wind up retreating behind these front lines as they are currently construed. You're really ready. I think I'm going to have you come down here to Knoxville. You've got all the sorts of correct movement here. I think I'm going to have you march down to Knoxville. It's going to be a long march, but you'll be back in place. That'll be good for us. That'll secure Tennessee. How's the Army of West coming along with their supply depot? It's going. They're just started theirs. Try and move them down to start taking Arkansas. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. They still have their stuff here. The Hampton Division, we could take that. Half inclined to go over after Winchester, but we're able to take. Well, we do have the ferry. Oh, there's Fredericksburg. Okay. Culpeper Chapel. Guessing. I'm gonna let him. Oh, we have a perk we can get for him. Blank home. Anyone else get a perk? Not yet. No. No. The other one we just gave. No. No. And no. That's okay. Supply alert! The Department of West has no provisions. Well, we're working on that, actually. We're working on that already. Alright, so yeah, about the only thing that we maybe could do would be to bring the Army of the East, the Department of the East, down. Try and move the front lines to this river. So, I think we'll keep them where they're at. For now, let them build up a lot of readiness as we finish off West Virginia, and then we can kind of bring the full bear of all of these armies down to try and mess with that. Navies, anyone newly ready? The Atlantic Blockading Squadron is ready. That is some really good news. Gulf Blockading Squadron, not quite. These ships are still being built, that's fine. Alright, well, we're gonna have a battle on our hands. There's no way they retreat on their own. So I was gonna say, I assumed there's no way they retreat on their own. So I'm not overly excited about the broken units with low morale already. 5 brigades. The Army of Tennessee, to our knowledge, does not have that. There's no need to fight that. Okay, and the Army of the New York is running into the Army of the Shenandoah. Here. I'm going to order their retreat, and I'm going to order the other way. We're going to run into another battle. Nope, they're running away. We have to do something with that, so I am going to march my big army down. Do something. Market reform will increase the efficiency of the nation's markets. Okay. Again, what is economy? Improved credit rating is pretty much it for economy subsidies to really matter at all. But we get railroad construction. I think that's what we were saving up for on that side, so we want that. We were building one already. Alright, 98% done. And so we're headed for the Cumberland Gap. We're trying to get the Cumberland Gap. Wow, your readiness is already tanked. Okay. We're gonna turn you around. Hopefully that order does go. Alright, so the Army of Indiana is refighting the Army of Tennessee, but now we don't have our broken units because we're closer to our own territory, so we should win this one. I'll see you in the fight.
Okay, so the Battle of Nashville Bowling Green Railroad here in Tennessee. And I was very, very excited as I started this battle, noticing that we are already defending, which means that I can put up some defensive stuff. So here I am scoping out the land and trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. And trying to figure out where they're going to come. So I do a little false start on the defense here. I'm trying to figure out where to put the line because they can come from one of 3 roads. They can come up north there through what looks like Asbury Church up there. They can come down the main road where the victory point is directly, or they can come down from the south. So what I decided to do is kind of plan for them to come directly at me. And I'm building up a line here, and the idea is that we're going to put one division. I'm going to put one division from the north. Sorry about that, and one division in the south. So you can see I'm setting this up here, and right along those fence lines that I have. And I'm just trying to figure out what divisions have the most men in them. And then I'm going to put my artillery, which I think is 1 unit, maybe 2, but I think it's just 1 unit right there, right on that fence line. And then I'm keeping that 3rd Division of Infantry in reserve, with the idea that if they come at my side, I can swing that 3rd Division in to guard the flank as I'm repositioning, but that doesn't wind up being a problem. I do have those skirmishers set up along the far outside, so I have some amount of time to react if they do come down. They wind up coming straight down the Wilkinson Turnpike there, and straight into the maw of my defensive lines. I did receive a notification pretty early on, I may have already seen it there, that one of their units left the battle, which I didn't think was going to happen because, oh, there it was. I didn't have, I didn't have that little red heart, little red broken heart there on the right side, but wound up that they had only that one unit. I think it was a pretty small unit because I think I check here, they have like 10 left the battlefield or something like that. So not a, right here you can see 10 left the field. So not a large unit. I think it was probably a unit that was being recruited at the start of this battle or something along those lines. Diet Coke is very good. So yeah, we have there. I'm just kind of waiting for them to show up. With my skirmishers kind of scouting out the various areas and see if they're going to come get me in the victory point here, which they do ultimately do. I do if I can find a way to have that here's their first scouts, so I can see they're coming down the turnpike. If I can find a way to have this kind of position where the artillery is open to fire, but also protected because they're a little bit further back. We have that hole in the line. That's great, but they have to walk into the hole in the line, and they do here, but they don't always do that. So yeah, they have small artillery units, and they have a lot of them. We have that one very large one with the full amount of guns, so it's a little bit of a difference there. But we pull our skirmishers back. And at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here and whether this is just the scouting unit, because all I've seen at this point is the cavalry. So trying to figure out, is this just the scouting unit or is this going to be everyone? Something you'll notice later on, it becomes a big thing, as now we're starting to see some infantry and artillery, is that you actually have to go quite a ways back, almost to where it says General Smith there. I think maybe you can cross a little closer to the junction of those two rivers, that tributary that's coming in there. But this river is actually uncrossable right where I am to the south, and so they actually have to bring some units like all the way down that river, all the way down to that bridge where those skirmishers were, in order to cross that river. So that wound up being a really good thing for me as they try and set up a line of battle, because a couple of units are basically taken out the field that way. But I am putting my reserves out on the flank because I am noticing that they are spreading out their line. So I'm just going to put my reserves out there just to guard against that turning of the line, which winds up being a thing. But this one actually he winds up going on the road, which puts him in front of our line for a little bit there. And in fact, actually his division leader there going with him on the road right in front of the line. But it works out. They weren't ready to capitalize on that mistake. So here we go. So you can see down there there's a cavalry and an infantry unit that are going south. They're having to go all the way around to the bridge down there. And spoiler, they will never take part in the battle. So that helped even the numbers out a little bit as well. But we're going to turn them, I believe this is where I turn them to counter battery fire, or I may have turned them back to fire at will. But here we go. They are advancing. No more of the waiting around doing nothing for 3 days that we saw in patch 107. And at this point, I'm a little bit concerned about what's going on in the middle. I didn't want anyone to attack that artillery unit if it was exposed here. So I've got to stop Garnett there. I think it's Garnett. I really have to stop him while Palmer comes in and is able to guard the middle there. But we are able to do that. Now I got to worry about the flank of the unit that has stopped him. So at this point, that's basically when I realized that they couldn't cross the river. I didn't know what they were doing. So I still wasn't sure what that was going to happen, but I was able to use most of those there. Now Andrews has broken because he was flanked. However, we've managed to break some of these other ones, so we're going to start to fold the line up on the right side, and then our left, we've turned our flank, and we're starting to fold that line up as well. That's holding pretty well where it sits right there, but now their unit is broken up there, so we're just starting to turn those lines. Particularly to just face Garnett down with 3 units now in a concave fashion, whilst the artillery is probably firing that general area too. And we're just going to keep guarding the flank against those 2 units that are still traveling down the river at this point, and the entire rest of the Confederate Army seems to have broken while they're traveling to just get here. So now we've got some good flanking happening on Garnett. And at this point, I'm noticing that I have broken most of their infantry, and so now I'm sending my own infantry out against their artillery, and I'm going to go try and break as many of their artillery as I can and steal their guns. And I don't get a ton of them. That's actually what I realized, that because you can see there's an artillery on the other side of the river, just barely on the other side of the river, but it's on the other side of the river, and I couldn't go take it, which is how I know that was there. We just broke the cavalry that I guess did participate, but the infantry is like, no, I'm good. We don't need to do that. So, but yeah, now everything's broken. We did get the one there. They're going to leave their guns. There they go. Yeah, enemy is retreating. So we've gotten some of the guns, and we will take them there. But this particular battle was a lot better off in terms of casualties and things like that. I was starting to get a little bit worried that the new patch may wind up with lower casualty numbers, which granted the Civil War actually had lower casualty numbers than you often have in here, but also that means that you're not doing very much damage to these armies, and that could prolong the war. But this one we get really good numbers going for us, and I like that. But yeah, we're just trying to take out these artilleries and make them leave their weapons so that we can come and take them over. So you can see I get that there. And there's one behind where that unit is right there, and I do have it. Right? Yeah, I was kind of trying to figure out why it wasn't doing anything, but I did get it there. And at this point, I'm trying to just take these, and I can go around the river and go get that one around the river, and then I realized that all their detachments already exist. But here we are.
Victory at Nashville Bowling Green Railroad. Our casualty 859. The casualty is nearly 2,500. That went very, very well. It really did. Where is this Confederate invasion? The Army of the Shenandoah. It's actually somewhere in here? Okay. Yeah, we're going to come down, we're going to take out the Hampton Division, swing back around for Winchester some way or another. I'm very curious what's happening here. Yeah, good. So they're just going to come back there. Alright, so Department of East versus the Hampton Division. They're actually taking the fight. We have 2 brigades with low morale. That's not going to matter. That is not going to matter. Victory at Culpeper Church. Or Chapel, or CH. Even casualties, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring them back to Winchester. I think that's a better move. Bring the Army of New York right up here. It'll be okay. Have the Department of Pennsylvania go down for there. we're going to go ahead and sit them in Nashville. That's the right plan. Yeah, the Army of the West almost completely built up there, which is good. And that's the problem there. The Department of Ohio just losing all provisions. So yeah, bringing the Department of Ohio back, we'll get them some readiness and then move them down this way toward Knoxville. I think that's a smarter plan. But hey, we got Nashville at this point in the game. That's unusual for me, for sure. For sure. For sure. Okay. We do 26,000 volunteers available. Union armies are unstoppable. The Confederates are forced to skedaddle. Union morale intact. More rebels surrender. So what we have right now here, July 14th, we've got a national morale advantage of 9, manpower advantage of 41,000. I think that's doing well. The morale of the army starts better. The national support's a little bit low, but what are you going to do? Our economy there, the Federals have a slight advantage, which is okay. We have a major battle victory. We won in the CSA, and now we've won 5 consecutive land battles. We've got Virginia pretty well blockaded. Let's go ahead and... Hey, there we go. New railroad line opens. A big boost in trade. Another American engineering feat. So that should theoretically help us there. Now we can build another one here from Davenport to Omaha, but I don't want to build that one. I want to build the Cumberland Gap. I have to just take what I need for the Cumberland Gap. And so that's what we're trying to do here. We will figure that out. Okay! I didn't expect this balance to be so good. With the Department of Pennsylvania, 22,000. We're actually outnumber them. We outgun them. And the Army of Northern Virginia isn't coming for another 7 hours anyway. We should have moved into that. Kind of. It's another Battle of Wheeling. They really want to take Wheeling and keep it, don't they? How did they get behind me anyway? Alright, well, we'll have to take the battle. And I think that I'm actually going to go ahead and call it here. I have no idea exactly how long I've played, but I don't think we're going to finish this battle in here. So we'll start the next episode with this battle. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, please do like, please comment, please do subscribe down below. All that stuff really does help the channel, and I'll see you next time.